Good afternoon, everyone. I know it's a little bit kind of a challenge after a good lunch and tiramisu with coffee to focus on the digital technology issues, security, and non-proliferation. But first and foremost, I want to extend my appreciation to the Austrian Institute of Technology and to Dawn, who will be moderating the panel, for having me here today and giving me the opportunity to speak about digital transformation and the security impact on nuclear ecosystems and non-proliferation. And overall, just choosing this topic for this year's Security Forum. The ongoing digital transformation is taking place at a very rapid pace. It's already transforming industries across the board, and the nuclear industry is not an exception, although we'll talk about the pace of its transformation in a minute. And this transformation is setting stage for further adoption of a broad range of advanced digital technologies such as cloud computing, automation, and artificial intelligence. It is for this reason that our organization, the Vienna Center for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation, is working actively to increase understanding of how the digital transformation and emerging tech impact the nuclear enterprise at large, or as referred to in the title of the panel, the nuclear ecosystems. We are founded at the initiative of the Austrian government almost 15 years ago, and a part of our mission is to conduct research and analysis and provide actionable recommendations to decision makers and policy analysts and those who focus on policy issues. We focus on the key areas in nuclear domain, whether it's disarmament, arms control, non-proliferation, or nuclear security. As part of our mission is also to facilitate a dialogue between different stakeholders, whether it's national governments, international organizations, industry, experts, and civil society at large. And recently, we felt it's extremely important to focus on how new and emerging technologies, such as digital technologies overall, but particularly artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and others, will change the landscape in the area of disarmament, arms control, non-proliferation, and security. The panel discussions that will follow will focus on how the digital transformation, which is effectively the integration of these digital technologies in all areas of business and our personal life, affect the nuclear sector, and particularly how to think about and mitigate the risks associated with the digital transformation in the nuclear sector. Nuclear energy technology is dual use, in the sense that the same technology that produces nuclear power can produce some of the world's most destructive weapons. Further, the nuclear industry is a high consequence industry, where safety and security needs to be the very top priority to prevent unintended release of radiation to the public and environment. These factors lead to some unique challenges when discussing digital transformation in the nuclear sector. And there are two aspects that I will focus on in my remarks. They are specifically like two areas. First, the security of nuclear facilities and materials against theft and sabotage. Although this is a responsibility of individual states, the consequences, such as a radioactive release or the construction of an improvised nuclear device, may well have international implications. Second, the need to maintain international controls over nuclear materials and technology in peaceful use, which is related to states' obligations under the Treaty on Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or the NPT. A big part of that system of controls is known as safeguards, basically a set of measures intended to monitor and verify that all nuclear material remains in peaceful programs and not diverted to nuclear weapons program. These safeguards are implemented by the International Atomic Energy Agency. Many of you know Vienna is the host country for this organization. So let me start first with security of nuclear facilities and materials. The increasing use of digital technologies in nuclear sector obviously brings challenges associated with them. The nuclear industry in general is slow to adopt new technology and is risk averse, and for good reason. Nonetheless, the nuclear industry is not stuck in the 70s or 80s, as is still some think in the or popular imagination visualizes it. The old view of nuclear facilities and nuclear power facilities in particular is that they are all dials and vacuum tubes and isolated or like from the digital technologies happening outside of its walls and fences. This is increasingly no longer a reality. The nuclear sector is also digitizing due to many benefits that these technologies can bring, as well as the global reach of the digital transformation in all sectors. So you cannot stay away from it even if you want to. Some of the analog technologies no longer available these days. The International Atomic Energy Agency estimates that around 40% of nuclear power plants are using digital instrumentation and control systems, including for vibration detection, temperature sensing, radiation monitoring. Even AI applications are making their inroads into nuclear facilities, including to improve efficiency, lower costs, and improve security system. The use of AI and digital technology will only increase, particularly as new types of reactors, advanced reactors, are coming online, or modifications to the old reactors are introduced. This ongoing digital transformation of the commercial nuclear sector already brings and will continue to bring a number of benefits. However, as I already noted, nuclear is a high-consequence industry. And when these technologies are integrated into the nuclear sector, it must be a priority to ensure that digital technologies are securely installed and used. In this respect, cybersecurity professionals are essential part of that transformation, as well as those who focus on data and information security. They need to be sure that the technologies installed and used in and around nuclear facilities and activities do not create vulnerabilities. It is essential to protect digital systems against malicious actors, whether state or non-state actors, who might exploit these vulnerabilities to undertake an attack, whether the attack is aimed at disabling critical infrastructure, attempting to trigger radioactive release, or to enable a theft of nuclear material. Data and information must be also protected and not to provide information to malicious actors that could help them in any of these attempts or that could allow them to recruit an insider. Moving to non-proliferation and particularly safeguards. I should mention that, as with the security of nuclear materials and facilities, the digital transformation brings both opportunities and challenges to non-proliferation. Among the benefits, ability to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of the implementation of controls and safeguards, from expediting the analysis of large sets of data from inspections to combing satellite imagery and other geospatial data, using advanced measuring instruments, seals, surveillance cameras, and other methods. At the same time, these technologies could be misused, including and particularly artificial intelligence. They could facilitate evasion, they could evade the detection of the diversion of material, hide a clandestine program, or to aid in acquiring nuclear weapons know-how and technologies. In other words, the incorporation of digital technologies in the nuclear ecosystem, which has its own unique characteristic and therefore unique challenges, requires both careful consideration and responsible implementation. In the end, digital transformation in the nuclear sector should seek to maintain safety, security, and proliferation resistance. It is probably evident to everyone, but just to repeat, if risks are mitigated from the design stage or first introduction of digital technologies, it's probably the best way, the best approach to follow, but they also need to be maintained. And most importantly, these measures should be adequate and effective. That gives the nuclear sector the opportunity to reap the benefits of the digital transformation while avoiding catastrophic consequences. And again, I applaud the Austrian Institute of Technology for bringing together a knowledgeable expert panel to delve into these issues in more depth. And I'm grateful to have that opportunity to set the stage for that discussion, which I'm sure will be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.